We normally like to kind of start off the morning with a quote. And today, I kind of wanted to just highlight. I was doing another pre-market room today, and with Rick, who I appreciate so much, and he was basically just talking about some of the energy that's been in our community, and the need for us to stick together and to be, beacons of light and positivity and connectedness. So with that said, the quote that I have today is from MLK, which is just that darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. And hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Right? So at the end of the day, I know everybody who comes on stage and all the people that I deal with, and so much of our community is devoted to just helping and being and adding value to other people's lives. And I want to reiterate that that's what we're here to do. And I appreciate everybody who comes on stage and everybody who listens every day. And I want to continue to be a place where people can, just be accepted for who they are, can show their interest in the market, can meet like-minded people and have these positive interactions where we can grow and learn and hopefully make some money off of it as well. So yeah, that's my quote and that's my take. Does anybody else have anything?
So mine's is pretty simple. People begin to become successful the minute they decide to be. And basically, if you choose success and you stay focused and you stay encouraged and stay inspired, you can have anything you want. So, like, I don't know who needs to hear this. Don't get distracted. Keep going. Stay focused. Stay inspired.
I got one. Don't let the internet rush you. Nobody's posting their failures. Let's get this money today.
Yo,
Good morning.
good morning, Buffy. Good morning, Dia. Good morning, Cassidy.
I got one too.
Good
Um,
morning.
successful people begin with the failure where fair, eh, successful people begin where failures leave off. So the moment you start losing and you feel like you're, frustrated with the market and you're going through a rough time and losing, just, realize this is the time that you got to push forward and just go double down and analyze what you're doing wrong, leave your emotions like at the front door and just buckle in to make sure you can make this a living.
I have one. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. So, one disclaimer, I have snow and power outages in and out. So, if I'm here and I can't speak, that might be why. But here's what I have. It's actually Proverbs 16:24. It's very simple. I hope that this pierces everybody's heart today in a positive way. Gracious words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones. So my point in saying that is just as you have opened this moment with the theme of positivity and interest in keeping that going, know that of course we all know our words are powerful, but the choice to use those positive, uplifting words can really transform a person's whole heart and moment, even if they never come to stay, even if they never experience you again. So that's what I have.
Yeah, I really appreciated that one. So with that said, I think it's time to go do like one of my favorite things, which is futures. If we look at the S&P 500, and it's so funny because I was in this other room today, and they were like, everything's been so flat. We're really looking at this sideways movement, and it is true. Like, it is fairly sideways to be honest, but like from an options perspective, just from like a market perspective, I'm like, there's so much movement. I look at these things every day, and I see a different story every single day. And so yesterday's story was, hey, we're at the top of our trend line, and I'm kind of expecting a pullback. We should be ready for that, right? And we talked about it, and boom, there it was, delivered to us on a plate, on a platter. And so now that we've had a little bit of a pullback, I mean, don't get me wrong, we are still on the upper side of this trend line. But I've kind of done some redrawing and just looked at it again, and so specifically for the S&P 500, I feel like we've come down. My activation levels God, why is my computer always so slow right when I need it to shine? Sorry, y'all. 1 second. Okay, so when I'm looking at the S&P 500, I see that it took like a nice dip. Same thing with the Nasdaq futures, and not quite so similar with the Russell. And it's been in this shape that I've been calling a megaphone, right? And we have this center trend line. And if you really look, maybe on like a 4-hour chart, right? We continue to go up and then take these nice little pullbacks, to go up and take these nice little pullbacks. So right now we're kind of resting near the last resistance level that we broke was, right? And so the question is, are we going to hold on to this level? Or are we going to drop below it? Or are we going to continue to trend sideways, right? And last but not least, we could also go up. But I expect a little bit of a consolidation period following a downtrend like that, this pullback. And as we consolidate, we'll look in that consolidation and say, hey, how is the volume looking? How is this thing respecting our actual support and resistance lines? Is it consolidating slightly under? Is it consolidating over? Are we seeing a rise in volume? And so far right now, I'm not exactly sure, but we are resting. I expect a little bit of a consolidation, and I'm not looking for strong moves in either direction. But if we did, especially for the futures, so we're at 39.25 right now. I think 3900, a break under that would be another kind of important level for me. And it's the same thing for the all-time high, which we were at yesterday, which is like 39.59. So I'm looking at that and saying if we can push past that, I would be very bullish. But the market's been just chilling out. We've been waiting for news catalysts. We've been waiting to hear things that pique our interest, and I'm not seeing that. If we come over to the Nasdaq futures, it's kind of a similar story, right? If you look at it on a 4-hour chart, you're going to see a similar thing where we have these. It's just moving in an upward. It's an ascending channel, but it's widening, right? There's been this megaphone aspect that happened, especially when we look back a couple weeks ago with that big dip that we had. But the range is getting a little bit smaller as it continues to, just go high and low, high and low, and high and low. So I've kind of tightened up my periods that I'm looking at. And let's see here. But for NQ, it's just a similar story. So we bounced right off of an all-time high of 13,900, and came down. We're right now sitting around 13,700, right? 200 points down. And there is this sort of support region around 13,698, 13,700. And it's kind of going to be a key level for me today, just to watch to see if we hold there. And once again, right, I'm expecting consolidation. But if we're going to break under that, I could potentially go bearish. And if we're going to trend up and start to attack those all-time highs, which would be 13,900, 200 points above us. But here's the beautiful part about having a nice little pullback like yesterday. We have room to run, right? So as opposed to being at all-time highs where I would be scared and saying, hey, you got to expect a pullback basically at any time. It's not quite the same thing. If we do go trend up, I'm expecting a solid uptrend for the moment. And last but not least, so if we look at the Russell futures, RTY. So Russell futures tell an even better story, at least to me. So small cap stocks, we've been talking about them a lot, and I started bringing it up just because I noticed that small caps weren't really responding the same way to the recession, same way to March. They recovered faster. Small caps have been moving, and especially as we look at like our big five, our FANG stocks, our Apple, our Facebook, and watch them to consolidate and sort of trend sideways and not make larger moves. We've been seeing these small cap stocks boom on a weekly, on a monthly basis. Right? So many people come in here and talk about penny stocks or the smaller bio stocks or the smaller, everything, right? The smaller crypto plays. There's a lot of mobility there. And as we have new people coming into the market, there's a lot of interest and volume in those places as well. So if we look at the Russell, once again, it's bounced off of the all-time highs, and we're kind of consolidating it's not even that many points down. So the high was 2,300, and right now we sit at 2,250, right? So 50 points down compared to that 200-point drop that we saw on the Nasdaq. A completely different story here. And a completely different look. The Russell has been a solid uptrender, hasn't really taken many pullbacks, and so I'm kind of expecting this to have a little bit more of an upward movement and upward momentum as it consolidates and bounces. But we have to be prepared for everything. And so if we did have a break below that 2250 level and maybe even down to 2200. Sorry. So the last resistance that it broke was at 2192. We could go all the way down to that point, and I would still say, hey, this is a bullish retracement to me. I see potential here. And then the last one that I want to look at, and it's quickly becoming one of my favorites, is crude oil futures. So we talked about crude oil yesterday, and we said, hey, the futures are looking up. There's going to be a need, a demand, based off of what's going on in Texas. And in general, just based off of the lessening of drilling that's going on, right? So they reduce the supply, the demand stays constant, the price is going to continue to go up, and it has. All of our oil plays, if you are playing oil, have been looking up, and even if you're not sure about how far, right, you can do something like doing bull put spreads or something like that, where you're not really trying to gain the largest upside momentum, but guess what? These things aren't dropping right now. This industry has been a staple in the stock market since its inception, well, since the oil industry's inception, and we have such a huge reliance on it. I talk about XLI every day, our industrial sector. I talk about XLB, which is becoming like the basis, the newer oil, where people are getting energy from these materials. But right now, we still have so many pieces of our infrastructure that rely on oil and gas for that. And so I really think there's a lot of opportunity. We're uptrending super strongly right now, gapping up, and yeah, until we see a resolution to what's going on in Texas, until we kind of see a change from OPEC or an increase in oil drilling, like right now, there are places that can't drill oil at all just because of the cold. And I'm hearing things about insurance brokers basically having to cover that cost, right? So sort of an interesting take on crude oil. We're definitely at a high point right now, so I would be careful about just jumping into positions and holding it for a long-term play because, this is the high. This is the run. They're continuing to run up. And I don't know when that consolidation phase is going to start again or something like that. But like I said, using a little bit of risk management, this sector is just on fire right now. And that's my take on the futures. Is anybody else looking at anything or see anything in your future charts?
I'm still learning every day from you when you go.
No, it's all good, Ben. I appreciate it, and I like talking about it. So at the very least, I hope everybody's just kind of like watching along and listening to what I'm saying and checking your own charts. This is just the story that I see, and technical analysis is beautiful because it's very dependent upon what you're looking for. You can make anything tell any story. And these storylines that we tell with technical analysis, specifically looking at futures, is there's speculation involved. There's room for everybody to have their own opinion. So, we've been doing it every day for a while, and I just appreciate you for checking in, Fly. And yeah, I would love it if somebody else, just come along with me and don't feel afraid to just hop out there and say what you're seeing and how that looks to you. I don't think there's really a wrong take on stuff like this. All right. Well, with that said, you know what time it is, y'all. Yeah, so just for the sake of keeping it family friendly and stuff, I think I'm going to change this section to trash can trades. Yeah, this is the part where we talk about any trades that we made that maybe weren't the best and ways that we can fix it so other people don't have to make the same mistakes that we did. I will start it off. Let's see, what trade did I take yesterday? Okay. So yesterday I came in here and talked about Nano Dimensions, ticker NNDM, and the offering that they did. And I looked at the pullback and I said, this is a great position. I would love to take a short trade on this company, and I think they're in a really good place. And I was so excited about it that I hopped in basically first part of the day. And yeah, Nano Dimensions had a little bit of a pop first thing in the morning, but for the most part, it stagnated and actually dropped down for the rest of the day. And if we're looking at where it's at now, it's once again recovering from a even bigger drop, and it's because um, they're doing offerings, right? So had I held this for a little bit of a longer time period, it would have been fine because it is going to uptrend. And look, here it is, right? If you had bought yesterday's dip just off of looking at the dip and saying, hey, I know this company is at a decent place, there's a good value here, and for a long-term play, you would already be up right now. But for me as a day trader, because I don't necessarily hold on to things, for multiple days unless that was my plan. So I took that. I took like an 11% loss because it didn't really move in the direction that I thought it would. And it was really because of me not being patient. Had I been patient, it would have been fine. I know that this company is going to uptrend, and I have like strong belief in that because of what they do. But yep, I've rushed my position, and I paid a little bit for that. But I still am very bullish on the company and the sector in general. Yeah. Anybody else? Or anybody in the audience, feel free to come on up.
For me, I'm looking at SNDL right now. I actually got in yesterday for a longer bit of a call, but I'm seeing that they might have another offering in the works. So might definitely sell for a loss. I don't really feel like risking it dropping, but I'm gonna see what happens today.
Another offering, Lord.
Good morning, y'all. I was looking at the hand where the mute button is, and I was so confused why it wasn't letting me unmute myself. But it was because I was in the audience. Yesterday, I said I wasn't going to trade, and I FOMO'd into Riot. I sold it, and I've been in and out of it since that challenge. This might be my third. I think this might be my third trade, but I just don't like that I FOMO'd, especially since I already like this stock. I shouldn't have sold it in the first couple times.
Good morning. Yesterday, I sold CCIV in the morning.
Oh,
Thank you for that. Whoever did that.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
It's okay, man. I'm sorry too.
Again, just for context, I had it for a while, waiting on the merger. I was starting to think that the merger wasn't going to happen. I got rid of it. I went to lunch or something. Maybe it was just a matter of an hour or two. But then tweets and news started coming out, and then I looked at the stock, and it spiked. And I had a couple of drinks last night. But that was my bad play. I just wasn't patient.
You know what, man? It's okay. You're not like, we've all probably done that one good time. And like one of the people I kind of learned from always said this a lot, which is like, know the value of what you hold. And it's like that just deeper understanding of like, I believe in this company. And giving yourself, good reasons to continue to hold on. Or on the other hand, if you really looked at it, you did your fundamentals and you're like, this isn't worth it. I don't feel, it's not a bad trade, right? Because you made a decision and you stuck with it. But yeah, man, that definitely a lot of profit on that one.
damn.
Thanks.
Hey, good morning, Thomas.
Hey, good morning, guys. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, good
Yeah.
morning.
Okay, I'm in the car. I just took my headphones off just making sure y'all can hear me. Yeah, good morning. So I just wanted to touch on what my guy just said about CCIV. So I got a buddy of mine who's been giving me a hard time about CCIV because I got out kind of early on. So I wrote it from $13 to $23, and I was in and out of it. So I was like, like I would buy some, and I was selling. I was doing options contracts, and so I always tell him, like, listen, I'm not mad about the fact that I got out, relatively early because I made my money. It was based, I literally made money based on a rumor, right? This was essentially a meme stock that a friend of mine sent me. And, I was operating within my risk tolerance, right? Risk profile. I can't really stomach too many losses right now. So,
Hey Thomas, you sound like a robot. Can you go back a couple seconds, man?
okay. Probably got a bad connection. Okay, how do I sound now?
Yeah, you're good again.
Still the same?
Now you're good, man.
Okay. But yeah, I was just basically saying that, you got to operate inside of your risk tolerance. If you're pulling out of something, you should never feel bad taking profits, right? Especially if, you can only do so much research and have so much data on a company that doesn't, on a SPAC that isn't really, a thing yet. It's just a rumor. So I would just say, don't beat yourself up, man. And, next time you'll get the next play and you'll make money then. So, yeah.
Thank you.
And also, it could have went a whole nother way. Sometimes it's unpredictable, man. So anytime you take profits, that's a good day, man. So, you'll get the next one. But just think, it could have went a whole nother way, bro.
Yeah, and it's so funny too. Like whenever I sell out of a stock and it drops down, I just feel super good about it. And whenever I drop out of a stock and it goes up, I close my broker and don't even think about it because it does mess with your psyche, man. So thank you for sharing that with us. All right. Anybody else have a trash trade they want to talk about, or are you guys good to do a quick refresh?
My trash trade right now is Clover Healthcare. I've been sitting on the sidelines because I just been looking at this thing like, I had it when it was iPop, and I did not plan to be in it this long, but you live and you learn.
Okay, so my trash trade, which I really wasn't going to talk about it because I was experimenting, but it still was some trash shit. Excuse my language. But anyways, my friend, she's like in an OTC group, and like they trade OTC stocks and they make calls or whatever. And she gave me some stocks to buy. I did my research on them. I bought them. The next day, they were all up like 100%. And she texted me, don't sell. And I was like, okay. She's like, we don't sell for pennies, blah, blah, blah. So I held them and now they're all down and it's just annoying me. And
Oh my
it.
God. Yes, I told you. Sorry.
They're not down. Like I'm still up on them like 20%, but it just pisses me up because I was like up 120% like on all of them. So yeah, that's my trash trade.
Yeah, I'm right there with you on HQGE and LTNC, but honestly, I see both of them doing very well in the next few months, so I'm not even tripping. But I feel you because HQGE for me was up like 150 some percent, maybe like 2 days after I got in. But it's whatever, honestly. You just gotta be patient.
Yeah, I'm in one called VPER and another one. But really what I keep thinking about is I'm like, you were up, you could have sold, kept the profit, and then hop back in. Because I mean, I still believe in them. She's like pretty confident. Actually, the Viper one, I'm down 12% on. The other two, 20 and 30%. But like, that's just what keeps going through my mind. I'm like, you could have sold, kept the 100% profit, and then hop back in. But I'll let you guys know what happens. I'm still holding.
VPER is gonna do really well too. Like I wouldn't even trip about that stuff. Like I be seeing shit like that too, and I'm just like, man, like I could have hopped out and hopped back in already, and this and that and this and that. And it's cool to think about like coulda, woulda, shoulda, but at the same time, like it's money. Like it's already gonna be money. Like you just gotta be patient with it. So I feel like it's counterproductive to think about like what I could have done.
Hey, I've been talking about like financials for a while now. If you guys just wanted to trade XLF options, we up 165. So come to the winning team.
Can I offer a little bit of like penny strategy?
Yeah, but then we have to kind of go on to our next section after this.
Okay, it'll be fast. So, two things. One, minimize your risk by limiting the amount that you invest. So I have like a penny piggy bank. It's just fund risk money. It's like a very small percentage of my overall portfolio. And then two, like you said, Ness, make sure you collect profits. And then three, take into account the fees that you have to pay going in and out. It's like $8 or $9 each way. So make sure it makes sense to get in and out and things. That's it. Thanks, Elaine.
All good. Hey, also, Mac, I've been trying to add you to the stage for a while, bro, but it's not letting me. So you might want to like leave the room and just rejoin again. But with that said, we're going to do a quick refresh and then kind of move on.
Welcome to the #1 pre-market show on Clubhouse, presented by Stockhouse University.
Wait a second. Actually, let's do Chris.
Good morning and
Is he
welcome to
here?
the Stockhouse U pre-market show,
hey.
the first place on Clubhouse you should check in the morning to get all of your stock news. We are not financial advisors, and this is not financial advice. This is a conversation amongst friends that love talking about stocks and want to improve our profitability by coming here every day and talking about the stock market, what works for us, what's going on that's relevant, and how we're going to use that information to profit. We think education should be accessible and affordable to everyone, so we have a completely free Discord that has tons of resources, over 1,600 amazing members, and it's all different skills levels that are talking about the stock market and trying to grow as well. We also have free classes every single Sunday, and we would love it if you all, whoever's listening right now, would join that community and contribute, because together we are so much more powerful than we are individually. And
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I'm really happy. I've got his voice. It just doesn't feel right without
Yeah.
him. So yeah, with that said, let's hop into a little bit of sector analysis. So let's talk about SPY for 2 seconds. Yesterday, I talked about SPY and said that like the level I was looking for us to go to was 392. And lo and behold, we smacked right on down to that 392 level, bounced down to 391, and kind of came up and continued to consolidate there. So if we look at what's going on this morning, though, right now, where are we at? We're at 391.32. And I kind of said that last week we went all the way down to 387. And that's basically the deepest dip that I would be looking for before I'm like, wow, we're really in a bearish condition. But right here at 391, I mean, it is kind of a little bit decisive, right? As we dip under 390, there's that mental level of, whoa, we're passing the 90s, right? Going back down into the 80s. And I know last week when we were in the 387 region, it didn't feel great, right? I was like, okay, is today going to be the day? Is this the big one? Right? So under 390, I'm definitely going to be looking and paying more attention to my indices and the futures, and kind of looking for larger downward moves. But as we bounce around here, this is somewhat expected. I expect this consolidation, and over 392, I could be very bullish again, and just be looking for the upside. But right here, we're kind of in a decisive moment. And like I said, so under 390 would be like, oh man, what's going on? Very concerned. And we are downtrending for the day. And over 392 would be definitely a break of that pattern, especially if we hold over that and continue to uptrend. That would be nice to see just for that bullish break. But currently, yeah, I'm just waiting to see here on the SPY. If we go down into a couple of our sector ETFs, XLB down, but of course they're down because it's materials, right? And so I just feel like the whole country right now is kind of in a little bit of a holding pattern. Although we have gotten some good news from QuantumScape QS about their batteries and that technology, which is kind of based off of being able to mine and get lithium. So I thought that was cool. But overall, we're kind of taking a little bit of a downtrend in XLB and. A similar thing. We hit our highs up at 77 God in January on the 13th. We bounced down to that 70 support level, and we're kind of coming back up in the middle of this ascending channel. But right now we've bounced off the top of that ascending channel, and we're downtrending currently. So I want to see where we find some support again and continue to have that upward movement. But yeah, it's kind of a little bit of a dip to buy. If we look at XLF. So yesterday we just had this huge gap up and down, right? And so I would look at that and call that a double top or very close to a double top. If you're looking at it on a 4-hour chart, you should see that with me. And it just that says a lot, right? It shows huge interest to have a candle that big if you compare to the other sides of the candles, and a huge sell-off at the same time. So we are having a really interesting moment in the financial industry as so many people are still adopting crypto. Crypto right now is on a hell of a fight run. And there are companies that have exposure to that and many that don't. And so the financial sector kind of provides that direct correlation for some of these companies and exposure. Sorry, that's the word I was looking for. That direct exposure to Bitcoin and crypto. And some of the companies don't. So I'm seeing like a tale of two different things going on inside of XLF, and I'm liking both sides of it. I'm very bullish on the financials that have nothing to do with crypto, and I'm also excited to have a little bit of exposure to the ones that do. PayPal, Square, MasterCard, Visa. So on both sides, I'm really excited. If we move over to our industrial section, so yesterday, like I said, we were at our all-time high, and I was once again wondering if we were going to take a little bit of a pullback, and lo and behold, we did. So the question is, how much farther are we going to see this pullback go? And currently, we're not down too much. It's not even a full point on the scale, but this chart doesn't move in crazy levels all the time. I've been holding XLI for a little while. I think I'm up 32% in the past few weeks. So it's not like an extremely fast mover. But when I look at this, I hear the story of the recovery of America. Right. So that's why I'm paying attention to our industrials so much. XLK, our technology sector, continues to be, one of the higher parts of the market, something that's really carrying us together and moving. And once again, we bounced off of that really overbought high and took a little bit of a pullback, down 2 points since yesterday. We went from 139 down to 137. And so right now, the candle that I'm looking at, it has a wick on the bottom right. And what does a wick mean? Well, it just means that the low is not where this last candle closed, right? So that in and of itself just says that we might have found a little bit of support here, that we might not just be continuing to fall down, but I'm not sure. In general, though, I expect tech out of everything we ever talk about just to continuously be bullish, just because of how important it is to everything that we have going on. Let's see. And then XLY, consumer discretionary, is another one that I kind of look at more like XLI, slightly the same as consumer discretionary are the things that people buy because they feel good. It's because they have extra earning power. It's because, they're confident that they don't need to worry just about essentials. Right. So we've watched that kind of take a little bit of a downturn as well. They were at an all-time high of 173. Now, if we look at how far that's gone down, it's gone down a whole 5 points, right? We're down at 168.51. And so it's so interesting, once again, if you look at the difference in how far these things pull back in comparison to each other. Well, consumer discretionary, of course, was going to take a bigger pullback than tech. Right? We have a billion reasons to be bullish on tech, regardless of what's going on with COVID. Whereas consumer discretionary, not quite the same way, although e-commerce is changing that. But Yeah, so a little bit more of a pullback. I'm not really concerned. I would love to see us return to that 170 level, and show some support there if I was going to make a bullish case. But right now it is still kind of deciding, and I want to see if we're going to find a bottom here or if we're going to continue to downtrend for the day. And I think that's it for me on sector ETFs and SPY. Anybody else have a take on SPY? I know I'm not the only one who looks at SPY every day.
I like how the way you worded when you were looking at SPY, how you were saying how as we see it downtrending, and possibly going back into the 80s or whatever, that you said, oh, is this the big one? Is this the big one? Because I've kind of been referring what we've been going through as like being in California and waiting for the earthquake. So I just thought that was an interesting choice of words.
Oh, it's just like being in California waiting for an
is.
earthquake.
It's exactly like me sitting right next to this fault line.
You know what, though? The cool thing about that example is that earthquakes are just like this, where it's like you don't get those large earthquakes without some sort of warning beforehand.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
There's like those seismic indicators, whatever. And I'm not an expert on earthquakes at all, even though I live in the earthquake state. But yeah, same thing. So for like, and that's kind of how I like talking about these activation levels on SPY, where it's like those are our precursors, you know?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
That's interesting. So I started trading on the market crash day, but my retirement fund at work started sliding. I think it was like December. So is that kind of similar? And also, were there indications in the year before? Or not really because of the nature of the catastrophe?
There's never been a pullback that didn't have some sort of indication beforehand. Never.
Yeah.
And deeper than that, look, that's why Bill Ackman is like one of my heroes. Okay, look, Rawa, I quit going to work in April. Well, sorry, February. Sorry, February before March. Right? I was working at a school, so school district stuff. I stopped going. I knew. I looked at that and said, I'm not feeling it. Like, I don't like the vibe. I'm very concerned. Bill Ackman went on TV and said, yo, we need to be concerned and we need to be hedging and we need to be taking ourselves out of positions. And lo and behold, we were right. But like, you know, it's kind of funny with these things. So many people want to have somebody who confirms them and tells them that you're right. And a lot of times, you know, with trading, we don't have that. Right? I have my intuition. I have my indicators. And once I make a decision, that's the decision. And so like that sort of confidence in your own choices, I think is the real difficult part to, you know, to really, or that's the part that, isn't really caught, where it's like all the indicators are there. We come here every day and talk about, hey, we're looking at VIX. Hey, we're looking at these ETFs. We're concerned. I'm seeing potential for a pullback. Is this the big one? And it's like, that decision-making process where it's like, what does it take for you to be, just how much it takes for you to be sure that you're going to take a position should be as sure as you can be to take, you know, the short version of that or not trade at all. Right. But that decision-making.
Thanks.
Do you see oil going up for a while, or do you think it's going to pull back a little bit now that it's pretty up?
Pull back.
I'm kind of bullish currently.
I'm kind of bullish too. I'm waiting. I have APA March calls that I took like a long time ago, like end of January, because me and Jackson were talking about it, and I'm pretty up on those.
Yeah, I mean, especially since you're already in it, and like I've been in it too for a little while, and it's just like, look, yeah, are we extended right now? For sure. Are we in the middle of a run? Absolutely. And however you kind of do your trade metric will determine how you kind of get out, right? So for me, every time I hit like 70%, I probably take some off the top, 130%, I took some off the top. I'm not really the most experienced long-term trader for things like that. But I definitely understand how we can use momentum to gauge a trade, right? So we talk about entering at confirmation where it's like, hey, I know this thing is uptrending, whatever, my fundamentals, my technicals have aligned. I'm seeing that it's holding the support. I'm ready to take this position, right? And then the other side of that is validation that the run is done. So I would want to see a break of a trend before I'm just completely ready to exit. And that means that, hey, I might miss the top, right? But I'm not trying to catch the top necessarily. You could be one of those sell when it's green type of people though. And and look how that does, right? You want to get these runs. If you're in something that's running, you want to get the most that you can out of it, not to your own detriment. But at the same time, Jay came on here earlier and talked about CCIV. I've lost money on Kodak. Well, not lost money, but I didn't catch that entire thing because I was too scared that it was going to take a pullback at some point, as opposed to waiting for the pullback to happen and exiting when I knew that was, really the trend that was going to happen. Right.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was even talking to my older brother yesterday how even like as new as I am, like almost like I would say 90% of my calls and stuff that I've placed like 2 months out, I've been at least getting like 30 to 40% on. And so I was just telling him I've also like not lost, but like lost out a little bit of percent just because I was trying to be a little greedier. And I was like, honestly, dude, like if I like take a step back and look at it, like my returns have been super consistent. If I just be like, oh, is that's 35, 40%? All right, I'm out, blah, blah, blah. All right, I'm out. All right, I'm out. So like, it's kind of got me looking at things like that now to where like, if I just build this consistent system, like I can see the money already. So just kind of be a little more cautious.
Yep, I like that. And I don't know. We could kind of go on about the systems of trading and making yourself more profitable for a long time. I think we should do that in the aftermarket talk today. But for now, I don't want to run out of time, and let's do this.
Oh, yeah. Look on. Yeah.
Yo, Pump House. Let's talk about our watch list. Let's talk about what's pumping early market and what we're going to be into for the day, because God knows that's what we're here for. So for me, I've been okay. So on a pump level, obviously everything going on with Bitcoin right now is at a height. And for a day trader like me, there's opportunity there. There's been opportunity with all things Bitcoin. As long as Bitcoin is over 45,000, I'm really excited to stay in this space. Talked about SOS yesterday. SOS is still up. Chris was talking about Ebon, which is eBang, another Chinese crypto company, up. Riot up. Mara up. Easy calls. I don't know about for long-term people if I would be really excited to hop in positions right now. But in terms of crypto, God, it's hot. And it's going to continue to be hot as we keep hearing more and more adoption stories. So there's even great fundamental reasons to be looking into this sector. Earnings today, Fastly, Shopify, Shop beat earnings as usual, very expected. I think they're still taking a little bit of a pullback, which is fan freaking tastic, because this company continuously does 165% growth year over year. There's zero reason to be concerned on a pullback of a company like this, and they're just the leader in that e-commerce sector. PLTR, another one I'm kind of really into, just because they didn't have great earnings, but from a service as a SaaS perspective, I still think this company is poised to software as a service, SaaS. There we go. I still think this company is poised to be disruptive. I still hear nothing but good things about Gotham and Foundry. I still think that in their partnerships and their place in the industry, there's a great fundamental reason to be into this company for a long-term run. So I look at a pullback and I say that this is a buying opportunity. And kind of not necessarily a pumpish stock, but I don't love trading small EVs. So here's where I'm at. I've been in Ford for a while, and Ford just reiterated that they're going all in on EV. And I'm very excited for an electric F-150, very specifically. I've worked in construction for a number of years, and so I just know that is going to be the standard. I expect that to be the standard at a certain point. And so here I am sitting, holding my Ford. Not really concerned, not really expecting it to do too much. I mean, she's just a giant stock with a giant market cap and doesn't move very quickly. But let's see what happens when that EV hype gets to it completely. So those are just some of the hype stocks I'm looking at. Oh, did I say QS? QS just really had released more stuff about their solid state batteries and the efficacy of them. And they said that they can have batteries that charge within 15 minutes. They also said that they have a Volkswagen partnership that's coming up. They're also partnered with Volkswagen currently. And Volkswagen is the second largest EV seller in the UK, right behind Tesla. And I think that the numbers that Tesla outsold Volkswagen by, it was very minimal. I think it was like 100 cars or something like that. So Volkswagen has been pervasive. And with technology like this, see, Tesla's not invested in solid state battery technology. And they also don't have like a really robust charging system yet. And so I think that this solid state thing will make a huge difference, not only from a charging perspective, but a safety perspective and a longevity perspective, because they're not as prone to, there's a type of decay that happens when the lithium gets used and it turns into this crystalline structure. And that is how the batteries end up dying. But because of the way solid state batteries are designed, this does not happen as much or at all, to my understanding. And I would love it if somebody who knows more about that could speak. But I've been doing as much research as I can because I am very interested in this. So those are a couple of things on my watch list and being pumped. Vanessa, did you have something?
So I'm watching Ford today because they made an announcement that they're going all EV in Europe by 2030. So I'm just going to be watching that. And I guess they're making $1 billion investment into EV cars as well. And then I'm also watching Vislink. They just announced pre-orders for Starlink satellite internet through SpaceX, allowing customers to put down a $99 deposit with a target coverage date of 2021 or 2022. And I know everybody likes that SpaceX stuff, so I'm going to just watch that today. Looks like it's already kind of moving off of that news.
Hey, Fly. Good morning, man. What are you looking at today?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm looking at Palantir, of course. My entry is $28, stop loss $26, and my target price is $45. And also, I'm in QS. I called it last week in the group on Wednesday. Look like we might see $60 at open. So I'm very happy about that. I think it's going to do well, like you said, with the batteries and everything. So I might hold it for a little bit.
Yo, this man is a winner. Yeah, a lot of the stocks that we've talked about, we've been talking about for a while, and he's been dropping gems in our Discord and just gems every day. So I appreciate you so much, man.
Thank you.
Olivia, you have anything you're looking at for the day?
Yeah, I am just looking at load. It seems to be moving a lot, and I got in a little bit at 9, and I'm just hedging to see whether or not that's gonna move. And then long term, I'm looking at CTRM and seeing if there's actually hope for this company. It was just a little thing I was curious about, and also EBON, and that's it.
What was that first sticker you said? Load?
LODE. My scanner picked it up, so I was like, all right, I'll get in.
Yo, you were the scanner god, man. Yesterday, with the socket one. Yo, this man Olivier is hitting. So, next, Daniel, you have anything you're looking at for your watch list today?
Like I said, just watching APA continue to rise because I have calls on that. Also keeping an eye on CBAT. I picked up some 7.5 calls on that for March last Thursday, and those have like I think immediately were already up, and it kind of did a little bit of a dash last night. It kind of went over 920 for a second. I think we're back around 890 right now. So I'm looking to get out of those soon just so I don't hold them too long. And then what you were saying about Volkswagen and EV, I'm equally bullish on stuff like that because I remember, I think, maybe back at the end of 2018, Volkswagen's IDR electric supercar was breaking the record at Goodwood Hill, I think it's called, and that shit looks incredible. It looks like a spaceship basically, and they're taking a lot of the technologies that Formula E is building and basically innovating on. So I really like what Volkswagen does in their EV.
Yeah, VWAG, definitely in the EV space. I just feel like we're going to see so many of these heritage automakers, kind of continue to be really dominant. They have the capabilities, so I'm with you on that. So yeah, everybody else, let's go down the line real quick. But also, we might not have enough time to do like expanded watch lists. So let's just do the top one on your list that you're looking for, and potentially an entry and exit if you have one. Buffy, good morning.
Good morning. Now I'm just sitting on the sidelines today, watching my beloved Clover Health die. That's it. No trade today.
That's right.
I'm right there with you. Like, don't even trip on that. I'm gonna be holding that for a little bit. I'm right there
Right.
with you.
Yeah, that's it. Nothing for me.
Rawa, anything you're looking at for the day?
Oop, hi. Just my Riot that I'm already in. Saxel is on a downturn, so I'm gonna kind of keep an eyeball on that just to make sure it doesn't go too far down since it's triple. That's it. Is that okay? Does that count?
No, it counts. Sorry, I'm like looking at SPY in the futures right now.
Oh.
No, it's cool. We bounced off that like 390 level,
Yeah,
and we held,
absolutely.
and that's what I wanted to see. I was just like, yeah, we could have a green day today or not, because Mama wants a green day.
Yeah.
Good morning, Jay. Let me PTR to make sure. Yeah, good morning, Jay. You have anything that you're looking at on your watch list today?
Yes, I'm looking at Rocket Mortgage. I see that it hasn't really moved too much since September. However, I don't know. I think that might be a long-term play. RKT.
You know what's crazy? I know mortgage people who are into Rocket. I've never really heard. I've never heard anything bad. They continuously make money. I bought the IPO on this company. This was back in my days when I was doing IPOs, which was not that long ago. And it's just done nothing since. And so I'm with you. I look at this from a fundamental perspective and say it's an obvious buy. And then I look at it from the technical perspective, and it's just garbage all over the chart. And it's like a curious situation with that one. I think for anybody who's a value investor who has no problem holding on to something for 5-10 years, something like that, it's an obvious win. But the market sentiment around it, well, since IPO, which was not all that long ago, has just been mediocre. And I am really curious as to why. I mean, nobody's going to give us an answer, but I'm with you, Jay. I see the potential. But there's a lot of chop on that chart, a lot of resistance to the left for now. So timing on that one might be really important. Thomas, do you have anything you're watching today?
Yes, I'm actually watching SOS. It's just a play I'm gonna kind of like tightly swing trade because crypto makes me nervous, but I kind of want to get a little bit of profits out of it. So I'm just watching it. I'll probably end up selling it before the day's out.
Yeah, Chinese crypto has been booming, so I'm with you on that. Fahim, good morning. Anything you're looking at for the day?
Yeah, hi. I'm curious on everyone's opinion on CMGR. It's Clubhouse. It's moved up a lot just because of the name Clubhouse. I think all they do
have
is
a lot of opinions
own
about
influencer
that.
houses in California. But if you look at it from a trading point of view, the momentum's up, but that thing should be worth like $2 or $3.
That's my favorite trade because, for one, it's not really Clubhouse, but anytime there's a large event in Clubhouse, people think it is, and it shoots up. So I tend to get it like the morning of like the next day and just do a day trade on it. It's something different.
It's like Raul was saying, that happens a lot where people, will mistake basically tickers. It happens a lot with Argin and Regen.
Yeah, like Zoom.
It happens with Zoom and Zomedica. But I mean, in general, I personally don't trade like that. Clubhouse is API, right? Like, and we've all made sure kind of to make sure everybody knows that. So I don't know, because the momentum is it's fake, right? Once people realize they're not trading Clubhouse, they will leave. And so it's hard to technically trade that. It's hard to fundamentally rationalize that. And so that's the trick with something like that. But it's cool for a pop.
Yeah, I want to short it. That's what I was asking. You think it's still gonna run? Because
Go-
YALA, I shorted at 40, but this one they both are same. Just clubhouse mistakes.
Short the hell out of it, man.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'd do it. So we got to keep it sort of rapid fire because I really want to hear one stock from everybody, and then do our ending of the day. So, really briefly, Nena, do you have a stock that you're looking at for the day?
Looking at Apple, I'll probably get like some puts on it. I think it broke like its floor or its like resistance that I had. So that's
What was your
probably.
resistance level at?
Hang on, let me see. Let me get off my phone. I'm like logging into my.
Oh shit, we're down at 131.
Yeah.
Damn, we're at 131.19. Oh my God, you're right. It was
I'm
at
crying.
130.93 earlier today. Holy shit.
I'm
Apple
crying.
Apple at 120. Anything is gonna be so delicious.
Wow.
Oh, it's gonna be good. Oh, this is a great setup. Good eyes, Nena. Steven, good morning, man. You have anything that's on your watch list for today?
Good morning, beautiful people. Yes, I'm looking at Oracle. I'm pretty new to technical trading, so I saw the RSI was down at 34. So I said, man, that means it is underbought. I'm going to check it out, and my exit is going to be at around $65. It's hovering at 62 right now, and I'll pull out if it goes down to 59. Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, and I like the company Oracle and the space that they sit in as well. God, I was really excited when we thought they were going to get TikTok or something like that. So yeah, big bull on Oracle as well. Good morning, Kit. Is there anything that you're looking at for the day? Crypto.
I'm always looking at crypto, but and that's so funny because the one that I'm looking at today. Good morning, everybody. By the way, I'm actually looking at Mara. I'm already in. I got in at like 396, and I had bought more in, which made me average out to like 685 or something like that, and it's currently at like 47. At one point, I knew when I was pulling out because I thought it was going to be around the 20 some odd mark, but then it just kind of exploded. And so I've just been like watching like a little crazy person. But it's at 45.95, well, 46 right now. So yeah, that's what I'm watching today. Like a little crazy person. That's it.
No, we feel you. Gotta watch those crypto plays hard. Good morning, David. It's nice to see you up on stage. David's always in our Discord, and it's fun to see you on stage, man.
Hey,
What are you
what's
looking
going
at for
on?
the day?
I got eyes on ITP. If anybody wants a COVID mask play, this Chinese mask producing company, we'll see if they pop sometime in the next 2 weeks. So I just loaded up. They had 38,000 volume and $4 calls yesterday for some reason. So I think they're about to get their FDA approval. I think somebody knows what's up. So I just hopped in with a bunch of $4 calls on the same one too. I'm just going to let those ride and see what happens.
Not an interesting strategy, man. I'm with it.
It's
Peter.
also like Chinese New Year and Chinese holidays, and I think the market changes on those days too.
Hey, good evening, everyone. So today I have SOS on my agenda. So this company is actually exposed to AI, crypto mining, and cloud technology. As far as price target, I have a price target of 20. I bought some when it was $5, and I bought averaged down yesterday. Averaged up yesterday, and I'm actually focused on looking at how this one does today. So far, it's trading well pre-market. So that's my play for the day.
Nice. Yeah, I think we've been talking a lot about Chinese crypto-related plays, so I'm into it. And last but not least, Lunique. Good morning, man. Welcome to the stage. Is there anything that's on your watch list for today?
I got a couple things on the watch list this morning.
We could only do your top one, though, man. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Right now, I'm with Naked Brands. I got 3 shares in that, so I'm just watching it climb, hoping it doesn't go down. That's it.
Interesting one. Yeah. Okay. So you're running off the like some of the ones that kind of got hyped a lot a couple weeks ago. So that's interesting. I want to hear about how these trades go at the end of the day. But we kind of have to end. We love to end when the market starts, which we're kind of 52 seconds behind, but it's okay. And get everybody going. So yeah, Roa, if you can end it for us.
I'm a skilled stock market trader. I take stock trading seriously. I have a finely tuned sense for knowing when and where to invest. I always take calculated risks. I'm able to be extremely patient when needed. I'm constantly improving my stock trading knowledge. My mind is highly focused and aware. I adapt easily to new trends. I sense shifts in the market. I always keep a positive attitude no matter what. Good luck, everybody.
Good luck, y'all.
Hallelujah.
Hey, Vanessa, you want to end the stage for today?
Thanks everybody for coming through. We appreciate it. And special shout outs to everybody that kind of shows up all the time. Dr. Watson, Shamira, Dr. Lynn, Elena, Marcus, Kelly. Started getting a phone call, but everybody else that always shows up and supports us, we appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, let's stay green and we'll see you guys after the market.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.